What's up, guys?
That's how we start.
How are you guys doing?
Woot. Getting nerdy all the time, baby.
Yeah, I'm in a new location. It is close week, so I've been kicked out of the old office. Came downstairs and just brought all my stuff down here. So new
To
spot.
the official man cave, which has a plaque that says man cave. By the way, we're going to address what's in the man cave very soon here. Is there any chance that you could slowly pan around the room for the rest of the audience?
I think they see it from the most part. You got like a whole not on the Skype view.
No, you were trying to not show up on the next edition of Hoarders 40K style. We need people to see your problem. We're gonna have an intervention right now. We need people to see this live.
I'm organizing some of my collection. So there is a little bit of stuff going on here. I will try my best to show
a little bit of stuff.
Yeah. So there's like some AOS models here. This is blurry though, dude.
This is just we're literally seeing grass. That there's absolutely nothing else going on.
No, you guys can't see it. Only the viewers can see it because it's a different camera, guys.
I was gonna say we're just looking at the Baramovich ass cam is what we're looking at.
Yeah, no, it's you guys don't get a full view, so
I will watch it on Facebook.
Yeah, you can watch it later. I'm not moving this camera out anymore. Putting it back where it was. But yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
There's shit happening right now. There's shit just got real. How about that? Shit just got real. Hold on. I gotta kill the sound and enlarge. I got to make sure that we're on point and on target. So I've got the Facebook stream on my left and you gentlemen on my right. So if I ever forget what we did, I have like a 7-second delay and I can look back and remember into the past.
Which is great.
So you're living in a constant deja vu.
Exactly. Well, that's how my mind works. My short-term memory is so bad that I have to consistently look back and remember what happened. Oh God! Now Robert's taking us on a walk. Please don't go to the bathroom.
Please do go to the bathroom.
I shared the wrong screen. I have to fix this as well.
So, gentlemen, have the Swedes been able to play more games? Because we're jealous about it and we want it to happen.
I got 1 game in so far this week, and I have 3 going on tomorrow.
Man,
doing like
you guys are doing the You guys are doing the hangout. Yeah, we would. We're in Ohio here. If we tried to do that, I'm pretty sure a SEAL team would show up and actually murder all of us immediately, twice, and then throw bacon on us because we're American.
Yeah, no. So I'm doing 3 games tomorrow in COVID camp part 2, which is fun. So we're meeting up 6 guys to play. So,
nice.
That sounds awesome. What list are you playing? You playing Grey Knights?
I'm probably playing Blood Angels, pure Blood Angels tomorrow because there's already 2 KS players there.
Gotcha. Are you getting in anything? Or are you just battling the people that are trying to destroy the ancient works of Sweden, Robert?
Well, no, I'm staying at home. I'm being responsible. Mainly because I missed the tournament deadline. We're having a tournament next month.
So like you act as if you're above them, and then at the same time you admit the fact that you just missed the deadline.
Yeah, Robert's like, look, I'm trying to be responsible, but what I meant to say was I was irresponsible, and I didn't put what I had to. I was trying to be irresponsible, but my irresponsibility made me responsible.
Yes.
So, what I think we should do is tell people about the epic confrontation that is going to happen, a battle of worlds between 2 men that play with small miniature men and operated and rolled for by Mr. Alan Baramovich. So Daniel and I are going to play an intercontinental game, and we're going to play it all via our tabletop simulator known as Alan. He's going to move all the models and roll all the dice. And we are going to be playing my unbelievably smooth operator, Blood Angels and Space Wolves. I can't even say it's Blood Angels and Space Wolves. It's basically Space Wolf characters and 3 dreadnoughts and Blood Angels. It's just I want crazy Space Wolf characters, and then it's either Impulsors, Intercessors, the, of course, obligatory Mephiston, which I swear to God, if you say is bad one more time, I'll poke you right in the eyes over thousands of miles. The Smash Cap, Librarian Dreadnought, and the Sanguinor. And I'm either going to bring Sanguinary Guard and Veteran Vanguard, or I'm going to bring another battalion. I don't know what the guys.
I just yelled you. I just yelled you for stop tapping the desk, because when you tap the desk, I stopped listening to your army list and I just want to kill you.
My bad.
I just literally envisioned myself murdering you.
By the way, the last time I was being recorded, I'm sitting here, and because I'm a psycho and I have to flick and stuff, behind the things, I'm like snapping something the whole time, and everybody on the call is like, "What the hell is going on in the background?" I'm like, set it down. I'm like, no idea, man. There must be some sort of noise on the background of you guys. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. It's clearly not my end. But so I'm going to bring either the battalion or I'm going to bring the vanguard of the extra Blood Angels, but the other stuff's set in stone. So I'm going to bring Murderfang, Ragnar, Smash Cap for the Wolf, Space Wolves, who's just a monster, and then 2 Wolf and Dreadnoughts, and then the Murderfang. So 3 total Dreadnoughts in that. So I haven't decided whether I'm going to go with less CP or not and more fun, or a couple units of incursors. Basically, the other battalion will be 2 incursors and a unit of combat Scarlet Knives, which works in for the 2,000. What you rolling? What did you decide on? Last time you said
I'm gonna go with my Sench inspired possessed bomb list, which I have 100% win rate with.
Out of your sample size of 1.
One.
Told you should have. Yeah, you know what? All you have to do is change a point in that list, and now that other list is always undefeated. You've never lost.
Yeah, actually, I have changed points in it, so
that's forever undefeated. Can't be stopped.
Yeah. No, so that's basically Master of Possession, the Dark Apostle with Dark Disciples, 3 units of cultists, which is tax, of course. Like 18 possessed, I think it is 17 or 18 possessed, and then I have a Thousand Suns detachment, which is Ariman, a prince with 3 up invo, 2 10-man units of cultists, and then 18 Rubik Marines, and 3 shamans on disc.
That's a big ass unit of fucking rubrics.
Yeah,
you have a lot of involves out there. I hope. Yeah. I hope Alan really is rolling low, because if he's rolling 4 pluses, it's going to be a long night. Like, I did 600 wounds. He's like, you killed 1 guy.
And then I have a demon detachment with either change caster with a wand or the change king. I'm struggling with 10 points to get in the changeling, but I'd
like to see the changeling, since nobody's really played with him since his nerf. But I still think he's nice. I mean, that's just a feel no pain that has a huge range.
It's a 6-up feel no pain with 9 inches range. Right. I think it's gonna be good for the possessed bomb, especially if I go second.
Well, even on the Zinch, the rubrics, man. If you're getting a 6-up, an extra basically.
No, it's only demons and rubrics.
Demons. Sorry, yeah.
And then another prince with another 3-up invo, the relic.
Did you take anybody with the Wooler trait for the +1 to cast also?
No, not right now. We'll see. I'm still working a little bit on it. And then 3 units of 10-man brims, and then 3 exalted flamers. So what I want to play around a little bit with demons. I think stacking stuff on demon keyword for possessed or other stuff is good. And then I think the exalted flamers for 50 points seems very point efficient. I mean, it's 3 short-range las cannons and their characters. I think, if I play it smartly, I think they're gonna.
It'll probably look against me. It'll especially work because I'll be really close to you. So I'm not exactly going to sit across the board, since I have I think my longest range gun is 24, because I have to take star bolters on the dreadnoughts. Besides that, the longest gun is 12.
Yeah. So. And I think it's going to be interesting against you, because we both want to, control the middle of the board. I'm gonna try to buff stuff and let you fight at 2 or 3 up invo guys with the 6 up feel no pain and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna try to push as many smites as possible into you, obviously. So
Luckily, I cheated and I brought the epitome also, so she's probably going to take all the smites. Don't ask me what detachment I put that in. It's no big deal. It's in the FAQ. Space Wolves just get that. It's one of their things. I don't have the FAQ with me. Just don't worry. That's
it's fine. I know you're
Brad, don't make me put on my Yud shirt.
I know you're gonna play with 2,300 points anyway. So.
Well, true. I mean, I need some sort of advantage. That is so much. I know we went like a 2-week span about talking about having an app with all the rules in it, but man, doesn't that kind of stuff just drive you nuts in a tournament though? When someone's like, "It's this, but I don't have it," and you're like, "You can't possibly expect me to believe like what you're saying." And if you had that app, you could just go,
"It's here."
Yeah. It's as opposed to going, "It's in the new FAQ. I left it at home next to my other shoes," but you're like, okay, we're just not talking to you anymore. But I'm excited.
I really wanted to get Fabius Bile into that list and do the buff on the possessed.
Yeah, then you're always worried about rolling a bunch of mortal wounds on your own guys.
It's 6s. It shouldn't be more than 3, and I have a 6 up feel no pain, so maybe I lose one guy.
I actually think that the Changeling is a buy, and if you're taking a Tzeentch army, people don't do it, but it's stacking those demons on that. I like that idea a lot because for whatever reason, I mean, his buff used to be just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously they nerfed it, but it's not like they nerfed it so bad. They nerfed it to something that's good, not just broken. You know what I mean? So everybody's like, he's not disgusting. We can't take him. You're like, I think he's probably okay. He's still another save on units that are very hard to kill.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he just adds. Like, what you need is the math, right? You're just ignoring 16.66 whatever of the deaths. So
yeah,
I think it's really good. I think he's for his points it's worth it.
-1 to hit since they're Alpha Legion, etc. It's like silly.
The only way you get better on it is if you do Slanesh, but then you have to take, you have to put the spell on it and whatnot. This is like literally automatic, and the thing about it is for me is it's so big. The 9-inch radius. I mean, you have a huge 18-inch bubble. You know what I mean? And that's just a clip of unit. It's not like models that are wholly within. It's the whole unit.
Yep.
So
no, and I mean, obviously, I think everyone agrees that probably Slanesh or Nurgle are the best possessed units. I'm coming from another angle. I want to try something that I haven't seen before and make that work. I think it suits my playstyle because I think I can wrap stuff and be locked in combat. It's going to be hard against you because your entire army is a close combat monster. But against a lot of other stuff, I think I can wrap it.
I was just saying, most stuff that doesn't bring only close combat. So, yeah. What are you? Well, let's. You know what? We got our two rosters that we're getting. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom of my screen, or for the people watching on Facebook, the top left of the bottom right. I'll go bottom right, which is Robert. Robert, if you weren't a lazy bum and actually got your list submitted in time, what were you going to bring to the latest Swedish tournament?
Ooh, Space Marines.
And this is why he didn't get it in time. He's like, something Imperium. I narrowed it down to that.
Well, I have painted Space Marines, so I would use that.
Do you want to narrow that down from all legions of Space Marines into maybe one, or maybe just a several?
Well, okay, now I would bring Iron Hand's shitload of intercessors and then a apothecary.
Boring.
So you're gonna bring that super exciting list of 6 cents, 40 intercessors, pharaohs, and the apothecary, and you just move up and stand in the objectives and go, tell me if you get any wounds through mathematically, I'm out of here.
Yes. Questions.
So boring. So boring.
Were you going to purchase alcohol for all of your opponents pre-game, mid-game, or end-game, or all of the above after you play that game with them?
Well, it's not my problem if they don't have fun.
I actually tested that a bunch of times leading up to Adepticon, and I was playing it, and I had Brown playing it as well, and both of us came to the same conclusion. There you go, the Brown magic on it. We basically were calling each other about the list, and I go, "What do you think?" And like neither one of us, or both of us, are like, "I've won every game I've tested with, and it makes my eyes bleed. It's so boring. I cannot possibly play it at the tournament. It will be like going to work, but worse." Alan, you've got a TTS game coming up.
I'm just so mad that that's still a list, Robert. It's just the most boring thing I've ever heard of, and it makes me like just want to go play Call of Duty instead of even talk to you about Warhammer.
Well, you do realize,
like, my soul has been pulled out of my body, and I'm just like, why?
I can just imagine Alan in a game with Robert, and in mid-game, he doesn't even say anything, just walks away and just goes to do something else. He's just playing games on his phone. I'm done.
Brown's on the cast trying to poach us for his stream in 40 minutes, apparently, and he said, "Hi, best friend." Brit's not on the. Oh, Robert, are you his best friend also? I thought Brit was his best friend.
I'm gonna take credit,
but
I mean, it's definitely not me.
Brown's poaching, but they do have a good game. He's playing old school soul bursting, like before they nerfed any soul bursting, and Siegler's playing Iron Hands with the Leviathan Dreadnought thing with before they nerf that. So they're basically playing rules that don't exist.
Got it. Hello, she's watching.
Oh,
of course.
She's watching. Hi, best friend. So
I was confused. I appreciate the comments clearing that up because I was like, "What's going on?" Brit's not on the podcast. I asked, and she said no.
Yeah, we do ask her every time. I'm eventually gonna get Brittany, and she's downstairs, and she'll probably yell something up. I'm eventually gonna get her to stream Twitch with me while they're just sitting on my lap, and I'm gonna make her make all my moves on Hearthstone.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, no, I do have a TTS game tomorrow. It's my first real TTS game. I got my army ready. I got some strat cards ready and stuff. All that stuff's saved. So I'm gonna test that out. It's a Sisters AdMech army, so it's pretty straightforward. Canoness, Missionary, Imagifier, 3 big units of Sisters, and an Exorcist, all in a what is that called? A Sacred Valorous Heart. They're all in a Valorous Heart detachment where they ignore -1, -2 rend. And then I got a Bloody Rose detachment with Zephyrim and Seraphim and another Canoness because I can take the Teeth of Terra sword for Sisters. And then I have allied in AdMech with 2 drills, 20 tech priests, and 3 of those hovercraft disintegrator tanks.
Now, you went with that instead of just some beats with Space Marines. What was why was the difference in choice in that? I know we were kind of talking about
just more resilience with that approach, and then I got 3 T8 vehicles and then 3 other like T7 hover tank vehicles. So it's just a lot more vehicle based. Which I think can be hard to take out. I like the
drills a lot. They're like demon princes in combat.
I literally just said that to Daniel like 40 minutes ago when we were off stream.
Oh, so
like verbatim.
He's right.
And I think the Seraphim mixed in with the Tech Priest could be really tricky. If they get that kill when they come in and they go up to a 3-up invul with the strat, you have to deal with them and the Zephyrim, and it's just hard because my Zephyrim can get like, if I roll good on Miracle Dice, they could have a 12-inch charge, and like they can get in pretty deep, and the Seraphim can clear chaff and even get them deeper. It's pretty good. Also, the Tech Priests have a pretty easy time getting that kill if I whittle down a unit with the Seraphim unit first. So if I have like double Inferno and all the bolt pistols at -1 rend because they're all Bloody Rose shooting in the psychic or in the movement phase with the strat, then I charge them later with Tech Priests. I have an even better chance of getting that kill. So it's pretty solid.
And this is why we're getting married.
Brit brings you wine. Hey!
Everyone says
what's up?
I know. I heard Alan go, hey!
And Jimmy's on. Jimmy's with us too. Nice.
Jimmy's alive. Wow.
The other Mr. Hesselberg.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm playing tomorrow with TTS, but I'm actually looking forward to running your guys' game more than TTS.
You'll be all right.
I'm actually really excited to see Daniel just yell at you, Brad. It's going to be funny.
Yeah, I'm going to get really upset. You have to take out your really good dice.
For some reason, I'm only rolling somehow this game got done. I'm only rolling D4s against Daniel, and he's rolling D20s against me the whole time.
I'll put a camera on the dice too, so we can have a dice cam, and we can have both of you guys
It'll
on.
It'll be a dice cam, but it'll be like pre-recorded dice cam. Just like,
Yeah.
oh man, it rolled in all ones again.
It's all edited.
Like, man, this seems like the same roll you had last time for me, Alan.
It's always the same roll. I thought there was 10 dice. Why are there only 9 in this roll?
Oh, hold on, one more. Sorry, you made one save. No,
Seems like you
I was
lost.
talking about this meta though. This is why I'm bummed that we're all stuck COVIDed up. Not you. Well, sorry, you're having a Swedish party. The rest of us are all.
He's having a tournament. Where's this tournament at, Daniel? Is this at your house?
No. We have a small tournament COVID thing going on at a friend's house every other week.
Got it.
We meet up 6 guys.
All right.
But we have a tournament in 22 days. 20-man tournament.
Sign me up for the next one. I'll get a flight.
Oh Jesus, yeah. I'm so junked to play too. But no, but like this is the thing. Like really ready. We're all getting ready to play. Games against other people and whatnot. And all of us brought different lists. You know what I mean? Completely different lists. Not even close. And I just think that the meta is like the meta that doesn't exist is in a really cool place right now. You know what I mean? When you have 4 players that are highly competitive, we're all made the national teams. We're supposedly good. We've won a bunch of stuff, but every one of us brought something that has literally are completely different from each other. So like, I really want to go to some tournaments because man, it's such a better time than when you went to a tournament and you saw only Robert's list. I'm not saying
boring.
Saying anybody's cancer to the meta. I'm just saying Robert's a bad person. That's all I'm saying.
The stores are closed. I cannot get new models.
It's either me or them. You're getting fucked one way or the other.
So, no, but like the thing is like pre this, we've had 3 different like kind of dominant phases, you know what I mean, in 8th, where you saw everybody playing IGBA, you know what I mean, when that list was broken. And then you had the Iron Hands chit. And then for a while before that, you had all soul bursting. But now you literally don't know what you could face. You could literally play an LVO, if they held an LVO right now, just, a long 9, an LVO and Nova, whatever, you know what I mean? You play 8-9 games, you could literally play something different every freaking game. And that sounds awesome, as opposed to my LVO finals when I played 3 consecutive games for quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals that were all Iron Hands. And 2 of them were literally the same list, point for point, back to back. So now it's just, I would rather play this. I mean, it's not like I want to lose, but it would be fun to just play against new shit. That's where you get new things come out. It makes the game more enjoyable. Hang out. I mean, we like Robert because he's our 3-legged dog. We're like, oh, we pet him. He's so pretty,
We call him Tripod.
Sadly enough, we've all seen it. Because sometimes you have to make love to a wave serpent.
Bum's medal wasn't yours.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't believe it for years, by the way. That was the best part about it. Just didn't believe it. It was like, pretty sure those are all melted down right now. Because we went, which one was it? We're like, I don't know. There was 4 of them. Shell game could be any of them. So, guys, tell me, what do we want to happen for right now? We talked a little bit about it, but I was talking to Robert just a little bit about it. I sent a little bit of stuff earlier. What's the differences between individual tournaments lists and team lists, and what do you do different preparing for each? So, because hopefully we got some tournaments eventually coming up. The WDC got move back. We've got other things. We've got stuff coming up. So I wanted to talk about basically those 2 things and which ones do you prefer. I think we're all kind of team tournament guys as far as like what we prefer in that. At least I do, I think. You guys did, well, at least the last time we got you a little more drunk, we all agreed on the team tournament thing. So what my big thing is on that is just what's the differences right now. We're making teams, and you're going to play basically back-to-back team tournament. Say you're going to go to the WTC, you're going to play in the singles event, and then you're going to play in the team the next day. What's the differences in getting ready?
I always kind of want to go more extreme in team tournaments. Like normal tournament, I would bring a balanced list. In a team tournament, I would just bring 15 vehicles, or like only dreadnoughts, or like only hordes, like the grot lists, like Team America grot list. Just bring to the extremes. Never would bring that to a singles tournament, but team tournament, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think it's hard questions to answer because there's also so many formats of single tournaments. So
I'll give you that. Well,
I mean, we have the win, draw, loss format, and then you have the 20-0, differential format.
We're not going to say which one's better. We're just going to say
no. But in a win, draw, loss format, obviously you can't bring an extreme list because if you lose a game, you're out, right? Yeah. Even if you lose it closely, like with only a few points. So it depends. Like I agree a little bit with Robert. Depending on the role of a player in a team, you typically see a few more extreme lists in a team setting than you would in a single tournament format. But I would argue that in a 20-0 tournament format, it could be very wise to bring the master of one trait instead of jack of all traits, because if you can get 4 20-0s and 1 0-20, it's more than 5 15-5.
True. See, and the thing is with that is I actually have I'm always a little bit split on which one I like better with the win-loss, because if you go battle points, you can kind of get past submarine. Like you could have a really hard tournament and play all the top players, and then have somebody that got a draw and then smashed come behind you, which kind of sucks a little bit. But also, say you lose a game, I don't know, say you're at, well, hypothetically say something. Well, like, say you brought your girlfriend to her first tournament, and you're playing, you still have a chance to win the Renaissance Man, but one of your friends, I don't know, let's say his name rhymes with Maramovich, comes up behind you in the middle of the game and just starts yelling at you, screaming that you can no longer win the tournament. Why are you still playing? We're going downtown. You're coming with us. I'll knock all your models down. You're an idiot. And then you have to leave. And that's what happens in a win-loss tournament is you have no chance to come back. So it makes no difference. So like
the best part of this hypothetical situation is when the girlfriend is like, I already went over there and I told him that he can't win, and I told him it's useless to play, but he's gonna still play anyways because he's Brad. Nah. And I'm like, hold my beer. And Brad leaves within 5 minutes. We're gone. We're at some beer garden next to some rooster.
5 full minutes. He's just berating me. Like, by the way, not just telling me this.
I started picking up your models.
Yes, and he did.
I started picking up your models mid-game. I'm like, oh, this one's nice. Cool. Oh, this was cool, too. Let me put this on your tray. Let me put this on your tray.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm out.
I think a problem with a win-draw, I mean, I really like win-draw loss as well. So I'm also torn in between. But one problem you definitely have with win-draw loss tournament scenes is that you have a huge drop rate today, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing is also it becomes so much of a ridiculous problem. Like if Robert and I play each other game 1 and we play to a 19-18 game, and now I have no chance to win at all, even though we played, tooth and nail all the way to the end, and it depends too much, as opposed to not that, like, we could continue on, especially if we're playing differential, you know what I mean? Basically, I lost 11-9 at that point in time, you know what I mean? And then I could literally win the tournament. But now I've played one game and I have zero chance at winning the tournament, and I've got 5 more games before, the tournament's over, and that's not including the finals or anything, you know what I mean? So I literally have no reason to play anymore, so I'm not even psyched up if you get a bad draw or just a bad game or stuff didn't go your way, but you still played really hard. I think that they might want to do. There's got to be a format to fix that.
Well, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I think the worst format is win, loss, draw without taking into consideration the win, the degree of the win. So that, in my opinion, that's like the worst one, because, like you said, you can have a 48. Right, or not 48, it's not a real score. You have like a 38-37 score, and then someone else got like a 37-30 5 score, let's say, for example, right? And those differentials don't mean anything. Those 237s are probably going to play next round. And I think win degree is an important concept. So I mean, I would put win loss draw format with no weight on the degree of the win as, in my opinion, the worst format. Win loss draw with somehow factoring in the differential so that you get like a spread, so you can see if someone's won by a large amount each time. That's pushing them forward somehow. I like that one a little bit better. And then I'm always a big fan of battle points. Battle points is probably my favorite.
Well, I think that you have to have differential, though, because I don't think people have any reason to play through the rest of their games if you've maxed out your score, because you don't want to be a dick to your opponent at that point in time. Because if Daniel and I are playing right now and he's basically got the game locked and we've got 2 turns left, there's no reason for him to not let me score all of my secondaries and score whatever I want, because it doesn't do literally anything to his score. He scores the rest of his points, say ITC, you know what I mean? So why wouldn't he? So we don't literally play the game for real the last couple turns. We just kind of go, you're going to get this, I'm going to get this to be nice and whatever, you know what I mean? As opposed to him going, I want to get the most out of my differential
and stop you. I'm not going to allow you to get things.
He stops me.
Yeah. That's
as
what I
opposed
like.
to going,
I like that.
because how many times do you?
Because when you're in a team, event,
at all, you're just not stopping.
Yeah, correct. But when you're in a team event, that's happening regardless. So like even when you're playing the current ITC format at ATC, it's a different format because you may be in a position where you're going to lose. So at like all the major events, when you're going to lose or you think you're going to lose, you're doing whatever you can. You're pulling things out as much as you can to try to get that win. And you're trying to be clever as much as possible to get that win in those games. But at the team event, maybe you're like, I know this is going to be bad. Like Brad, you're a great example. You played me last time at ATC. You knew you're losing that game. 100% you're losing that game. So what did you say? You're like, I'm just going to try to get 28 points. And I tried my best to stop you from getting like 28 plus points. And you ended up getting 28 points. There's nothing I can do. Your vehicles just grab them. And, like in order for me to get mine, I have to I can't really be focused on stopping you.
And that's another thing, that playing in the team event, though, I didn't try for the win. I just tried to maximize my points while
as much
literally
points as
staying on my side of the board.
And I tried to minimize your points, too. I was telling you, I know you could get this if you do this, but I'm going to try to stop you with this.
Well, Jimmy's like, why don't you do a 20-0 system and wins give additional points? The problem is what are the additional points? Because like right now, that's actually how they do it. But a win is 1,000 and a loss is 500 currently. And
a loss
is zero. Zero extra points. You just get the points you got in the game. So if you get like 32 points, you get 32. It
means that you audit. It depends on what they're doing. So we'd have to figure out how many points a win is versus that. But definitely a 20-0 system would be just better than what we're doing right.
I think it's a fundamental question though, right? Like, do you agree or do you disagree with this statement? If player A goes 6 rounds, 6 wins, a win differential average of 3 to 4 points per win, right? And they went 6-0, 3 to 4 point differential average. Player B goes 5-1, averaged 27 point differential for going 5-1, lost 1 game. Who should win the tournament? Is it the undefeated player or is it the player who averaged basically a beating to 5 players? That's a hard question.
Yeah. That's how I got into Adepticon the one year.
That's a really hard question.
And I won Adepticon. I won 9 games between the team tournament and the singles event, and went home with Nadavati's prize support in my back seat. So I was not super happy about going undefeated, not making the finals. But that's the problem is that I think that you have to have a pool. You have to have a finals almost, in my opinion, if you're doing something like that, just so you can have at the end like 3 games that are win-loss, or even 2 games. You know what I mean? You take it down to 4 people, whatever you have. You know what I mean? Whatever you have time for. But you definitely need a scale. I mean, I really like how Bill does it right now on the 50 point, where he starts with 25 and then you go plus or minus, but anything plus or minus.
But Bill's system's all battle. It's got nothing. I mean, you can go 4-2 at Bill's event. Well, no, it's 5 rounds. You can go definitely 4-1 for sure and win the whole tournament.
It's multiple times. I went 2 years in a row. I won every single one of my games, but I did not win the overall because of my battle differential. So I got passed for the things on that.
Yeah,
So,
the year I won, I think I lost to Tony Garpando by like 3 or 4 points in the final round, but I still won the whole thing.
Yeah, I won all my games that round. That was one of the years. I went two in a row. I went 2 years in a row where I went 5-0, but didn't win enough battle points for the whole thing. But and that's not the problem. But I know going in that it's a battle point tournament, so I'm fine with that. I'm just saying I actually probably prefer that than just straight. I don't want to miss the finals if I go undefeated, but I also don't like the idea that half of the tournament drops if they lose a game. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel.
I think it was worse. It was worse before. I think it's getting a little bit better now. I think some changes that the ITC made are making it better and better and better. I mean, before you had the ability to win your faction at the end of the year, before you had the ability to win your region at the end of the year, all that kind of stuff that now exists, I think that leads people to keep playing. Because I remember going to tournaments back like 4 years ago, when win-loss just kind of got really popular. I remember there was one Nova, man, where literally they had like nobody. That once brackets got paired, it was deserted. Like everyone was gone, and that all changed with prize support per bracket and like the end of year prizes and stuff. I think they're really pushing for that. I also think 8th is a more fun game. Back in 7th, who wanted to play more? You lost.
That's true.
Forget about it.
I would just say
do something.
I'm the biggest 40K fan, and I want to play the most games ever. But in 7th edition, if I lost a game, that was pretty much it.
Who wants to play 7th edition? Nobody. 0 people.
You're like, hold on, I got to play Wolfstar.
Also, beginning of 8th was rough. Keywords just got introduced. A lot of people didn't know how they worked exactly. I'm one of them. And
we had
it's like 14 Malefic Lords.
One detachment, you had Bobby G, Sisters, St. Celestine, 3 units of mortars.
That never happened. That never happened.
Culexes.
I had a corn unit in a Zinch drop pod by accident. Whatever. Look at you guys.
When the GW guys came over for their first time in 8th edition for
they lost it.
They literally they were sitting with notebooks just going, what is even going on here? Like, explain to me what's going on in the list. They're like, no, you can't do it. The best is still when they talk to us, when we're talking about deep striking, and then you press quicken on them or you cast warp time, and they're like, you can't possibly do this. And everyone was doing it the entire year.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah, that was awesome.
Like, yeah, we read the rule wrong, and they literally pulled out the rule book and just pointed at it and go, it literally says you can't move after you deep strike. Like, how else would we word this? Like, they're all just staring at us. Like, that in their mind they're thinking, "Are you retarded?" But they didn't say it. They just said, "How did you read this wrong?" Like, I've literally been doing this for a year.
I've seen horrendous things from all kinds of players, just reading things wrong, playing things wrong for long periods of time. There's a really famous player who played with 5+ Field No Pains on Soul Grinders for an entire year, over 15 tournaments. Like it's just they have Field No Pain. No one checked. 0 people checked. I played him myself. No one checked.
They actually do if you're playing demons.
I went to a tournament and played Wraith Knights we had this tournament, Feast of Blades, and I played a Wraith Knight army. I played like 3 Wraith Knights at the time, and I played them the entire event with only 5 wounds. I just assumed they had 5. So I was removing them every time they took 5 wounds, and my opponents never corrected me. No one ever told me they had more wounds the entire tournament.
You guys ready for another Sparks'
stories? Hilarious
cheating story.
How many
this
Centurions?
GT. Spark shows up and he's telling me all about all the stuff that his guys did and everything else, and all the equipment. He shot these melta-guns and he did this, and I'm like, dude, like literally none of those things are on your
0
list.
of that's in your army.
You literally have none of them. And he's like, yeah, but the models you gave me have them. I'm like, yes, but they have like literally every weapon they could possibly have, just because you want to have them so you can use other things with them. And he's like, well, I played the entire first day shooting this, and this, and using a thunderhammer here. I'm like, well, you literally played with like 300 points of extra war gear and weapons. I mean, it seems good. He just said upgrades. Yes. Free. He was playing a power level tournament. No one else was. Sparky, I wish he was on right now.
He's playing Titanfall right now.
He's always playing. There he is. Sparks is in the house.
Hey.
Love it.
Still, I missed the beginning of 8. I remember at a tournament I was
Good.
holding a relic with Gulliman, protected by Celestine, and then 2 Colexes in front.
I mean, none of that could happen since he's not even allowed to pick up the relic because he's a monster.
I might have cheated that, or I might have superstition.
You definitely cheated that.
Well, also Gulliman wasn't a monster because I used a Thunderwolf model because I left him at home.
So I left him at home.
Strong.
Strong. Way to play. Strong play. I already told you, Miss Sparks, the last time you weren't here, I did tell the misfortune story, which was one of my favorites.
Yeah, he can go back and listen to the recording. What I want to know is from Daniel here, where you guys, I don't know what you guys are doing with the Swedish team. I don't know whether the WEC is going to get this year, next year, or hold off for a whole year. What's happening with that? How are you guys, when you approach the team event, going to Brad's original question, how are you guys dealing with players who play the same armies, players who have the same skills? How does that get handled?
This is always a problem, right? I think like end of 7th, I think it was, we had like 5 players who were top 5 playing Eldar, or it's troublesome. I think our system works in the way that top 3 picks the captain, and then the captain picks the rest of the team. So I think it's pretty much up to the captain to bring a balanced team.
How do you guys track your top 3?
Oh, we have a ranking system.
I was to say they have a ranking system on that.
Okay. There's an internal Swedish rankings only.
Yeah, we have a national ranking system that is based on the ranking points of the 6 best tournaments you've had the last 18 months.
Now, do you pick a captain based on like his ability to pick a team, basically? Like when you became captain, do you think that they picked it because of the fact that they know that you could choose basically people that are best at picking the armies? Because for me, if I'm one of the top 3, I'm not going to pick the best player as my captain at all. I'm going to pick the guy that can pick basically the best team and control everybody to get everything together, because we had a huge problem with that in 2 different times where we had like basically the team qualify with say Eldar. You know what I mean? We've had a couple times, over the last 9 years where a lot of players qualified with the same list, and that's the problem is we don't have a captain pick. Well, now we do, but I'm saying before we had a weird qualification system where you had all these players qualify with the same list, and then one player can play that list and everybody else has to play something different. So we ended up having guys not playing with things that they were good with. So you know what I mean? So do you guys just how do you go about choosing your captain? Like, what do you?
I would say this differs. Since I started, it's only been 2 captains. It's been me and Olaf. I think I was picked way back because of the fact that I was so involved in the game and deep into sort of the meta and building lists and doing all kinds of like list doctor posts and helping people with lists and stuff. So and that I was an able player, obviously, but
questionable.
Yeah, but I mean, when a captain picks a player, he has an army in mind for that guy. I mean,
yeah, and then Olof is probably picked more because he's more of a
party animal.
No,
Party legend.
Person and like statistic. I think he's.
If you say statistics based off how you guys paired last year, I'm gonna smack you the next time I see you.
Yeah, but
they have a really good team, though. Like they literally go about the team.
Yeah,
worse.
and also he's. I think he's a good captain in the sense that he doesn't care about what the community thinks about him. So he will, choose whoever he thinks is the right person for the job.
I already like this guy.
Yeah, no. That's literally how I ended up with pairings for Team USA, because Greg was being pressured so much, and we talk all the time about pairings and stuff like that. And I think it's 2nd year that I was with him that I pick up pairings, and I just kept with it because he was just getting so much shit from all the players, and he was getting tired of it. And I go, Greg, because we'd always talk pairings together, and I go, Greg, how about I'll just take the pairings because I give no shits about what anybody says. You know what I mean? I'm just going to try to get the best points for the team.
Brad literally will look at people and just be like, this is what I think is the right call for the team. and he'll just pair you the way he's going to pair you.
Like, just you're gonna have to deal with it because everybody, especially in the early days, America did such a bad job of team concept. Not because like the players themselves, because no one was used to a team. So we had 8 lone wolves, but everybody just wanted a big score for themselves basically at first. And that's how a lot of people approached it. So he had such a hard time, and that's why I took on it, because I was just able to go, this is the best for us. Just figure it out. You know what I mean? This is literally by far going to be the best outcome for the rest of the team, because sometimes you have to take it. Like, people don't get that ready. Robert has the lowest score on the team, but he literally took hypothetically. No, but he just if I put him out, especially back when you couldn't refuse anybody, if Robert took 8 to 10 points going out first defender, he's literally the most valuable player on the team. You know what I mean? If he just went out and just accepted whatever they gave him, especially back before we had denies. That guy was literally your MVP if he could just take it to the face. And that guy might lose literally 6 games and score 8 or 9 points every time, and literally was the key component of your team.
Yeah. Well, do you guys remember, was it the Greek or the Spanish captain that got 120 points at ETC because he did his own pairings and then just made it garbage for everyone else?
Yeah, he literally went, I'm the best, and the rest of the team got just dumpstered. He basically walked away from all other pairings. He's like, well, this is my match, and here's the cards, guys. Figure it out after that. I don't care what else happens.
No, but I actually think this has been a smaller problem in the 8th than in previous editions, because at least in Sweden, I would say like top 5, top 10 plays very different armies in general.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You always have 2 or 3 guys that can play anything. Usually Daniel and sometimes me.
Are the sizes of the events in Sweden important for the ranking? Does the size of the event matter? For the ranking in Sweden, does the size of the event matter in the rankings?
Yeah, so okay. It's like it's basically up to 50 players give full ranking points, and then above that gives a smaller percentage of the ranking, because it's more, the theory is it's more scrubs in those tournaments than smaller tournaments. So
we've got a request for Robert to smile more. He's bringing the entire cast down. That's what it said. At least maybe I put a little bit more.
Robert,
I mean, the comment was literally smile a little bit more, Robert. I added the extra. That's what I inferred from that post.
Robert, think about a Sweden with a lack of government, no oversight, 0 taxation, and you're free to do whatever you'd like.
Sounds like America. And that doesn't really work out.
We're not that. We're already riding over here. Don't worry about it. But, I mean, it is a lot better, because I tell you the truth, I have to give GW props on that, because of the fact that they really turned shit around. Because think about 7th edition. There was 3 total army lists, I think, that were viable in 7th edition. But not 3 armies, just 3 lists that you could bring to a tournament and expect to win with it.
Well, you could put the invisibility on different units.
Sorry. That would get Nick turned on. Uh-oh. I prefer this is why we've said a lot of times we like team stuff. So Robert, right now, what is your cheap tournament? We got a little bit from Daniel on that. What are you looking for as far as teaming and preparation on that? You want to bring those extreme lists?
Extreme lists. I mean, I love team tournaments because you get rid of the soups, because you have to sacrifice so much if you want to bring the best. I mean, you split the Astra, you split the Marine list. That's quite funny. I like that, to be honest. But,
I think it brings out the real skill, though, because the fact that if you just if you got too many options, you just end up with the same type of things a lot. You know what I mean? Which I like the fact that you can only use the same shit one time. It just makes things way harder. I think it's more skillful. I like the fact that we show up, and somehow, even though the Russians are insane people, they always show up we were talking about this a couple months ago. The Russians every year show up with some random list that no one understands what the hell is going on with it, but then it wins a bunch of games in the team tournament format because it takes on a specific type of list.
Yeah.
And
they meta the meta.
Yeah,
it's nice.
You'll never see that in the thing. And the thing is that sometimes you make calls. We've made missed calls on that before. We've tried to. Tell you the truth, Alan had some really good. He's had some really good team tournament concepts, especially for the states here in like 5-man tournaments, where like he had the one concept which you brought. I think you brought the ETC and you wanted to bring the ETC, but couldn't get everybody on board. We were actually trying at one point in time to bring for ETC now WTC 8 horde armies because we just thought that we could win basically 5 of 8 game type of things because no one has enough anti-horde in their team list.
I was pushing pretty hard. I was like, guys, we all just bring 200 plus models, and we're just like,
So
we win 4 games automatically, like
Yeah.
just right there.
2 or 3 years ago, I think the Horde meta was the biggest one. That's the year we went with all anti-Horde armies.
Yeah, it'd be good to do this in a year where it's not the norm.
Resurrects and stuff like that. So
We were like talking. This is a year that it wasn't like a real thing on that. You know what I mean?